You set the alarm for 5 a.m. Again, and you meant it this time. You really did. Last night you laid in bed and you promised yourself, tomorrow's different. Tomorrow I get up, I do the thing, I finally become that guy. Then it went off, and your hand shot out in the dark before your eyes even opened. You didn't even hit snooze. You killed it, off, gone, and you rolled back over into that warm spot and told yourself 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes turned into 2 hours, and then the guilt. That heavy, quiet guilt that sits on your chest while you're brushing your teeth, already behind, already losing a day you swore was going to be different. Here's the thing nobody told you. It's not because you're lazy, it's not because you don't want it bad enough. You've wanted it for years, man. You've wanted it so bad it hurts. The problem is you've been waiting to feel ready, waiting for the motivation to show up like a bus that's always late. And I'll be honest with you, that bus ain't coming. So tonight, lying here at 2 a.m., unable to sleep, feeling behind everyone in your feed, I need you to hear this. The people who made it, they didn't feel like it either. They just found another way. Let me tell you about a guy named Marcus. Chapter 1, The Monday That Never Came. Marcus is sitting in his car in the Planet Fitness parking lot. Engine off. Gym bag on the passenger seat. He's been sitting there for 11 minutes. He can see the door. It's right there, 20 feet away. People walking in, people walking out, and Marcus is just sitting, hands on the wheel at 10 and 2 like he's still driving somewhere. And you want to know what he's doing? He's negotiating with himself. I worked a full shift today. I'm tired. I'll come tomorrow when I've got more energy. Monday. I'll start fresh Monday. So he turns the key, backs out, hits the drive-through on the way home because, hey, if I'm not starting till Monday anyway, what's one more? That was March. He did the same thing in April and May. Look, I want you to notice something about Marcus, because it's easy to look at him and think, man, this guy's just weak. He's got no willpower. If he really wanted it, he'd walk through the door. But that's not it. That's not it at all. Marcus wanted it. He bought the membership. He bought the shoes. He watched the videos at 1 a.m., the ones with the gravelly voice and the sad piano, and he felt something. He felt fired up. He felt ready. And then Tuesday came, and the feeling was gone. Here's what nobody explained to him, and I wish somebody had years ago, because it would have saved him so much time. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings don't show up on schedule. You can't build a life on something that comes and goes like the weather. Some mornings you wake up and you're a lion, and most mornings, real talk, you wake up and you're just a tired person who has to go to work and doesn't want to do a single hard thing. Marcus kept waiting to become the kind of person who feels like going to the gym. That person was never coming. Because that's not how it works. You don't feel your way into action. You act your way into feeling. It's backwards from what everybody sells you. Now let me turn this to you for a second. You've got your own version of that parking lot. I know you do. It might not be a gym. Maybe it's the resume you keep meaning to update, the application you've had open in a tab for 3 weeks, the class you keep saying you'll sign up for next month, the side thing you talk about but never touch. And you're sitting in your own car, in your own way, negotiating. I'm tired. Tomorrow, Monday, when things calm down. And I gotta be honest with you, because that's what we're doing here tonight. Things don't calm down. There's no version of next week where you magically have more energy and more time and more willpower. Next week you're going to be the same tired person you are right now. The bills are still going to be there. The group chat's still going to be blowing up. The feed's still going to make you feel behind. The circumstances don't change. So if you're waiting on perfect circumstances, you're going to wait your whole life. So here's what we're going to do, and I'm not going to ask you for anything crazy. No 5 a.m., no cold showers, no hour of journaling. I'm not going to set you up to fail. Here's your assignment this week. Just one thing. Pick the thing you've been avoiding, the parking lot thing, and I want you to do the smallest possible version of it, not the whole thing, the first 2 minutes. If it's the gym, you don't have to work out. You just have to walk through the door and stand there. That's it. You're allowed to leave, but you gotta walk in. If it's the resume, you don't fix the whole thing. You just open it and change one line. 2 minutes. That's the whole assignment. Because I'll let you in on something. Marcus didn't change the day he found more motivation. He changed the day he stopped needing it. And that starts with one door. 20 feet away. Chapter 2. The Liar in Your Head. 6 months later, Marcus is standing in that same parking lot. Same Planet Fitness, same gym bag, and he doesn't want to go in. I want you to hear that, because you'd think by now, right? 6 months in, 3-4 times a week, you'd think by now the wanting to would have kicked in. You'd think he'd bounce out of the car all fired up. Nope. He still doesn't feel like it. Standing there in the cold, tired from work, he'd rather be home on the couch. The feeling never showed up. But here's what's different. He goes in anyway. Not because he's more motivated than he was in March. He's not. Some days he's got less. He goes in because he stopped listening to the voice. Let me tell you about that voice, because you've got the same one. We all do. It's the voice that talks to you right at the edge of doing something hard. And it's smart, man. It's not stupid about it. It doesn't say, don't do it. That'd be too obvious. You'd catch that. Instead, it says, later. It says you deserve a break. It says you had a rough day. Be kind to yourself. It says you'll do it better tomorrow when you're fresh. It sounds so reasonable. That's the trap. It sounds like your friend. It sounds like it's looking out for you. But that voice has never once made your life better. Not one time. Trace it back. Every time you listened to it, you woke up the next morning feeling worse, not better. Feeling behind. Feeling that guilt again. Here's what I've learned about that voice. I'll be straight with you. It's not you. Not the real you. It's the part of you that's scared, the part that wants to stay safe and small and comfortable, because comfortable feels like survival. And a long time ago, staying comfortable was survival. That wiring kept your great-great-grandparents alive. Conserve energy. Avoid risk. Don't do the hard thing unless you have to, but you're not fighting for survival at the drive-thru, man. You're not in danger on the couch. That old wiring is just running in the background, telling you to protect yourself from a workout, from a phone call, from opening a laptop. And it lies. Real talk, it flat out lies. It tells you tomorrow you'll feel like it. You won't. It told you that yesterday about today. It tells you this once won't matter, but it's never just once. It's always this once. Every single time is this once. Now here's where I turn to you. Tonight, lying here, you've got that voice too. It might be telling you this audio is nice, but you're too tired to actually change anything. That you'll listen to the rest tomorrow. That you're different. your situation's harder, your problems are bigger. This stuff works for other people but not for you. That's the liar. Same one, just wearing your face. And I need you to understand, you don't have to argue with it. You don't have to win the debate. You'll lose the debate. It's been debating you your whole life. It's undefeated. It knows all your weak spots. You just have to stop treating it like the truth. When it says later, you can hear it and go anyway. When it says you're too tired, you can agree, yeah, I am tired, and do the thing anyway. Being tired and doing it are not opposites. You can be both, tired and moving. That's the whole secret, honestly. Marcus is tired every time he walks in that door. He just walks in tired. So here's your assignment this week. Small, doable. Just once, one time this week, I want you to catch the voice in the act. That's all. When you feel yourself about to skip something, back out of something, put something off, I want you to notice it and name it. Out loud if you can. Just say, there it is. There's the voice. You don't even have to beat it this week. You don't have to do the hard thing. I just want you to see it. Recognize its face. Because you can't fight something you think is you. Name it once. That's it. Because Marcus didn't get stronger than the voice. He just stopped believing it. Chapter 3. Running on Empty. It's 9:40 on a Wednesday night, and Marcus just ate half a sleeve of Oreos, standing up at the kitchen counter. In the dark, didn't even turn the light on. And this is a guy who's been killing it. Gym 3 times a week, packing his lunch, doing good. So what happened? Let me walk you through his day, because this is the part that matters. He woke up and didn't hit snooze. That took something. He skipped the drive-thru and ate the sad little egg thing he meal prepped. That took something. His boss dumped a last-minute project on him and he didn't blow up. That took something. Sat in traffic for 40 minutes on the 405 with some guy riding his bumper. Took something. Came home, wife stressed about a bill, kid needs help with homework. He stayed patient. Took something. Took something. Took something. And then 9:40 hits. And the Oreos are just there. And there's nothing left in the tank to say no. Here's the thing I need you to understand tonight, and this changes everything once you get it. Willpower is not a personality trait. It's a battery. It's not who you are. It's a resource. And it drains. Every hard choice you make all day long pulls from the same tank. Saying no to the snooze button, biting your tongue at work, being patient when you're stretched thin, resisting the phone, choosing the salad, it all comes out of one account. And by 9:40 at night, that account is overdrawn. So when you eat the cookies at night, or you doom scroll till 2 a.m., or you skip the workout after a brutal day, that's not a character flaw. That's an empty battery. You spent it all being disciplined for 16 hours, and there was nothing left for hour 17. Now think about what that means. Really think about it. If willpower is a battery, then the people who seem to have endless discipline, they're not running a bigger battery than you. That's the lie you've been telling yourself. They've just got more willpower than me. They were born with it. I'm just wired weak. No, they just don't rely on it as much. They built their life so they don't have to make the hard choice 50 times a day. They set things up so the right thing happens on autopilot and the battery barely gets touched. They're not stronger, they're smarter about where they spend. Let me turn this to your life. You ever notice you're great in the morning and garbage at night? You make good calls at 8 a.m. and terrible ones at 10 p.m. That's not you being two different people. That's a full battery versus an empty one. You ever notice that on a hard week, money's tight, work's insane, you're barely sleeping? That's exactly when your good habits fall apart. When you most need to hold it together. That's not weakness. That's your battery getting drained by stress before you even get to the good stuff. So the answer was never try harder. You've been trying harder your whole life. How's that working? The answer is need less willpower in the first place. And that's what we're going to build. That's the whole point of these systems I keep hinting at. It's not about becoming a machine who never gets tired. It's about setting your life up so being tired doesn't wreck you. Here's your assignment this week, and it's a thinking one, so stick with me. I want you to find your 940, your weak spot, the time of day or the specific situation where you always cave, where the battery's always empty. Maybe it's late night on the couch. Maybe it's the drive home when the drive-through calls your name. Maybe it's Sunday when the whole week's caught up to you. Just find it. Notice when your discipline dies. Don't even fix it yet. Just know your enemy's schedule. Because you can't win a fight if you don't know when the ambush is coming. And Marcus? He didn't get more willpower. He just stopped fighting battles at 9:40 at night that he was always gonna lose. Chapter 4. The Night Before. Marcus is standing in his kitchen at 9 p.m. and he's doing something that looks a little crazy. He's laying his gym clothes out on the couch, shorts, shirt, socks, shoes lined up by the door. Then he fills his water bottle and sticks it in the fridge. Then he packs his gym bag and sets it right in front of the door, so in the morning he'll literally trip over it. His wife looks at him like, "What are you doing?" And Marcus says something I want you to remember. He says, "I'm not gonna trust tomorrow morning me to make good choices. That guy's an idiot." He's laughing when he says it, but he's dead serious. See, Marcus figured something out, and it's simple, but it's everything. He can't win the fight at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Marcus is warm, half asleep, battery at 0, and the voice is loud. That guy loses, every time. But 9 p.m. Marcus? He's got some juice left. He's a little more clear-headed. So 9 p.m. Marcus makes the decision for 5 a.m. Marcus. He removes the choice. Because here's the truth, real talk. Every decision you leave for later is a decision you're probably gonna lose. When 5 a.m. comes and the clothes are in the drawer and the bag's not packed and you gotta find your socks in the dark, that's 10 little decisions. And each one is a door the voice can walk through. Where are my shoes? Ugh, it's cold. Maybe just today. And you're back in bed. But if the clothes are on the couch and the bag's at the door and the water's already cold in the fridge, there's no decision left. You just put on the clothes that are right there. You grab the bag you're tripping over. The path of least resistance points the right way now. That's a system. That's the whole thing right there. That's what beats motivation. A system is just you setting a trap for your future self, but a good trap. A trap that makes the right thing easy and the wrong thing annoying. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your setup. Let me say that again because it's the most important thing I'll tell you tonight. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your setup. On your worst day, tired, drained, battery dead, you're not gonna do what you hoped. You're gonna do whatever's easiest. So the whole game is making the right thing the easiest thing. Now let's talk about you. You've been trying to win with willpower at the worst possible moment. You've been trying to make the good choice when you're weakest, when you're most tired, when the voice is loudest, and then beating yourself up when you lose. Stop fighting there. You're fighting on the enemy's turf. Move the fight earlier. Move it to when you've still got something in the tank. If you always cave and order DoorDash at 8 p.m., then the fight isn't at 8 p.m. The fight is at the grocery store on Sunday when you've got a full battery, buying stuff that's easy to throw together so you're not starving and helpless at 8. If you always skip the morning thing, the fight's the night before, laying it all out. You win the hard moment by not being there for it. You already made the choice hours ago, back when you were strong. Here's your assignment, and this one you can actually do tomorrow. Easy. Pick one thing you want to do in the morning, anything, and tonight, before bed, set it up so it's already halfway done. Lay the clothes out. Put the vitamins by the coffee maker. Set the book on your pillow. Leave the running shoes by the door. Make one thing so easy that future you can't screw it up even half asleep. That's it. One trap. One good trap for the idiot you'll be at 5 a.m. And I say that with love, because we're all that idiot in the morning. Because Marcus stopped relying on being strong when it counted. He got strong the night before, when it was easy, and let that carry him. Chapter 5. The day he missed. It's a Tuesday, and Marcus doesn't go to the gym. Kid got sick, up half the night, overslept, scrambled to get to work, whole day upside down. By the time it's over, he's fried, and the gym bag sits by the door, untouched. He doesn't go. And here's where it gets dangerous. Not the missed day. The missed day is nothing. It's what happens in his head that night. Because Marcus lies in bed and that old voice, remember the liar, it comes back. And it's got a new angle. It says, see, you knew it wouldn't last. You always do this. You were doing so good and now you blew it. Might as well. Might as well. Those are the two most dangerous words in your whole life. Might as well. I already messed up today. Might as well order the pizza. Already ate bad. Might as well write off the whole weekend. Already missed Monday. Might as well start over next month. That's how one missed day becomes one missed week, becomes one missed year. Not the miss, the spiral after the miss. But Marcus, and this is why I'm telling you about him, Marcus does something different this time. He misses Tuesday, and Wednesday he goes. That's it. That's the whole miracle. He didn't make up the missed day. He didn't punish himself with a double workout. He didn't beat himself up all night. He just went the next day like it was nothing, because it was nothing. Here's the thing I need you to burn into your brain tonight. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. One miss never hurt anybody. You're gonna miss. Life happens. Kids get sick. Cars break down. Some weeks just eat you alive. Missing is not the problem. Missing is guaranteed. The problem is the second miss. Because the first miss is a pothole. The second miss is a turn down a different road. So the rule Marcus lives by now, and I want you to steal it, is stupidly simple. Never miss twice. Miss a workout? Fine. Just don't miss the next one. Eat like garbage at lunch? Fine. Make the next meal a decent one. Blow off your goal on Monday? Fine. Monday's dead. Let it go. But you show up Tuesday. You're not trying to be perfect. Perfect's not real. perfect breaks the first time life gets messy. You're just trying to never let one become two. Let me turn this to you because I think this is where a lot of people like us actually lose. It's not that you can't start. You've started 100 times. You're a great starter. New Year's, new Monday, new month. You start strong every time. It's that the first time you slip, you torch the whole thing. One bad day and you throw out the whole week. One skipped workout and the membership goes back to collecting dust. You treat one mistake like it's proof of who you really are. But a mistake isn't proof of anything. It's just a Tuesday that didn't go your way. The people who make it aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall and get up so fast it barely counts as falling. They've just gotten really, really good at Wednesday. That's the skill. Not starting, restarting, quietly, without drama, without the big guilt speech. Just, okay, that happened. Next. Here's your assignment this week. You're gonna miss something. I promise you will. So here's what I want. When you miss the workout, the habit, whatever you're building, I want you to not make it mean anything. No spiral, no might as well. No long guilt trip lying in bed. Just say 4 words. Never miss twice. Tomorrow. And then show up tomorrow. That's the whole assignment. Not perfection, just the comeback. Because Marcus isn't somebody who never falls off. He's just somebody who gets back on the next day, every single time, like it's no big deal. And that's the thing that finally made it stick. Chapter 6. Waiting for the Wave. Marcus has a buddy named Deej, and Deej is fired up. Deej is always fired up. He's the guy in the group chat sending the videos at midnight. Bro, we're changing our lives this year. I can feel it. He's got the notebook. He's got the plan. He's got the whole vision mapped out. And Deej is waiting. He's waiting till the first of the month to start. Then it's waiting till he gets paid so he can buy the right shoes. Then it's waiting till work slows down. Then it's waiting till he feels it, that big wave of motivation that's gonna carry him all the way. Marcus, meanwhile, is just going to the gym, tired, unmotivated, half the time not feeling it at all, but going. 6 months later, guess which one's in shape? It's not the guy who felt it the hardest. It's the guy who showed up the most. And I promise you, Marcus felt it less than Deej almost every single day. Deej had way more fire. Deej just never lit anything with it. Here's what I need you to understand, and it might sting a little. Waiting to feel motivated is just procrastination wearing a nicer outfit. That's all it is. It sounds so responsible. I'm gonna wait till I'm really ready, till I'm in the right headspace, till I feel it. But it's the same thing as putting it off. You've just dressed it up so it feels like you're doing something. You're not. You're waiting. And waiting feels productive because you're thinking about the thing so much. But thinking about it and doing it are worlds apart. That wave you're waiting for, the big surge of motivation that finally makes it easy, I gotta be honest with you, it's not coming. And even if it does, it doesn't stay. Motivation is a wave. Waves crash and pull back. You'll feel amazing for 2 days, and then it's gone and you're right back to tired. If your whole plan depends on riding a wave, you're gonna get dumped on the sand every single time and wonder what's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. You just built your house on water. Marcus built his on the boring stuff. Same time, same days, clothes laid out, never missed twice, no wave required. On the days the wave came, great, bonus. On the days it didn't, Most days the system carried him anyway. That's the difference between these two guys. Deej needs to feel it to move. Marcus moves, and sometimes the feeling shows up after. And here's the kicker: because Marcus keeps moving, he actually feels good more often. The action creates the feeling. Deej is still sitting there waiting for the feeling to create the action. It's backwards. It'll never work. Now let's talk about you, because I think you've got a little Deej in you. I know I do. How many times have you said, "I'll start when"? When the new month hits, when I move, when this stressful thing is over, when I feel more like myself, when I get my head right. And how many of those whens ever actually came? The wave you've been waiting for is a trap. Not because it's a lie. The feeling's real. It does show up sometimes. It's a trap because you handed it the keys. You made your entire life wait on a feeling that answers to nobody and shows up whenever it wants. Take the keys back. You don't need to feel like it. Read that again. You do not need to feel like it. You never did. That was the lie the whole time. You just need to do it, feeling or no feeling, and let the feeling catch up whenever it feels like it. Here's your assignment this week. One time this week, do the thing when you absolutely do not feel like it, on purpose. Pick a moment where the motivation is nowhere. You're tired, you're flat, you'd rather do anything else, and do the small version anyway. 5 minutes, just to prove something to yourself. Prove that you can move without the feeling, because once you feel that, once you do it cold, no wave, no fire, something clicks. You realize you were never actually waiting on motivation, you were just waiting. Deej is still waiting, by the way. Last I heard, he's starting Monday. He's been starting Monday for 3 years. Chapter 7. The 2-minute rule. When Marcus first started, he didn't set out to work out for an hour. His goal, the actual goal he wrote down, was this: put on my gym shoes and drive to the parking lot. That's it. That was the whole thing. He didn't even have to go in. Sounds ridiculous, right? Like that's not a goal, that's nothing. Where's the workout? Where's the grind? But listen to what happened. Because the goal was so small, so stupidly, embarrassingly small, the voice had nothing to grab onto. The voice can talk you out of an hour at the gym real easy. You're too tired for that, that's a lot, skip it. But it can't talk you out of putting on shoes. What's it gonna say? You're too tired to put on shoes? Come on, even the voice knows that's weak. So Marcus put on the shoes and drove to the lot. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, once he was there, sitting in the parking lot in his gym shoes, he just went in. Because the hard part was never the workout. The hard part was starting. Once he was moving, moving was easy. That's the secret of the smallest habit. Here it is. Make the starting line so small you can't say no. You've been doing it backwards your whole life, and so was I. You set these huge goals. I'm going to work out an hour a day. I'm going to read every night. I'm going to wake up at 5 and meditate and journal and hit the gym and eat clean. And it feels amazing to plan. It feels like you're already halfway there. And then day 3 hits, you're tired, and the whole tower collapses. Because it was too big. It needed a full battery every single day, and you don't have a full battery every single day. Nobody does. So you quit, and you think you failed. But you didn't fail. Your goal failed you. It was built too big to survive a bad day. Here's the rule Marcus lives by now, and I want you to have it. 2 minutes. Any habit you want, Shrink it down to something you can do in 2 minutes. Want to get in shape? The habit is put on gym clothes. Want to read more? The habit is read 1 page. Want to eat better? The habit is 1 glass of water before dinner. Want to save money? The habit is move $5 over on payday. Not the whole mountain, just the first step onto it. And people push back on this. They go, that's too small, that won't do anything, 1 page won't make me a reader. And they're missing the entire point. The 2 minutes isn't about the 2 minutes, it's about becoming the kind of person who shows up. 1 page a night doesn't make you well read, but it makes you a person who reads, and a person who reads, most nights, ends up reading more than 1 page anyway, because the hard part was opening the book. Once it's open, you keep going. But even on the nights you don't, you still opened it. You still showed up. You kept the streak alive. You stayed the kind of person who does this. And that's what actually changes you. Not the big heroic days, the tiny days you almost skipped but didn't. Let me turn it to you. Whatever you've been trying and failing to start, I want you to look at how big you made it. I bet it's too big. I bet you set a goal for the person you wish you were on your best day, not the tired person you actually are on a normal Tuesday. Shrink it. Cut it down till it's almost embarrassing, till you look at it and go, well, that's too easy, that's nothing. That feeling, that's too easy, that's exactly right, that's the target. If it feels too easy to fail at, you built it correctly. Here's your assignment. Take your big goal, the one you keep failing, and write down the 2-minute version, the starting line version, the one so small the voice can't argue. Then do just that. This week. Every day if you can, but even a few days is a win. Not the whole thing, just the 2 minutes. And if you feel like doing more once you start, great, go for it. But you're not allowed to feel bad if you only do the 2 minutes. The 2 minutes is the win. Because Marcus never set out to become a gym guy. He just set out to put on his shoes. And the shoes did the rest. Chapter 8. The cookies on the counter. Let's go back to those Oreos for a second. Remember Marcus, 9:40, half a sleeve gone in the dark. Here's what he did about it, and it's not what you'd think. He didn't decide to have more willpower around cookies. He didn't stand there each night white-knuckling it, telling himself, be strong, don't eat the cookies, you got this. He just stopped buying the cookies. That's it. That's the whole fix. They're not on the counter anymore because they're not in the cart anymore. And now at 9:40, when the battery's dead and there's no willpower left, it doesn't matter. There's nothing to resist. He'd have to put on shoes and drive to the store, and tired Marcus ain't doing that. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit, because it hurts our pride a little. Your environment beats your willpower. Every time. It's not even close. You like to think you're in control, that you're making free choices all day with your big, strong will. But you're not, mostly. You're reacting to whatever's around you. If the cookies are on the counter, you eat the cookies. If the phone's on the nightstand, you scroll the phone. If the gym's 40 minutes away, you skip the gym. You're not weak, you're just human, and humans do what's easy and close. So the move isn't to become a monk who can resist anything. That's exhausting, and you'll lose, because remember, the battery runs out. The move is to change what's around you so there's nothing to resist in the first place. Make the bad thing far away and annoying. Make the good thing close and easy. That's the whole game. Marcus took the junk food out of the house and put fruit on the counter where the Oreos used to sit. He charges his phone across the room now, not by the bed, so grabbing it at 2 a.m. means actually getting up. He keeps a case of water in the car, so when he's thirsty and tired, the easy thing is the water, not the gas station soda. He didn't get more disciplined, he got sneakier. He set the whole board up in his favor before the game even started. Because he knows, on his worst night, with 0 willpower left, he's gonna do whatever's easiest. So he made sure the easiest thing was the right thing.
Now let's talk about your setup, and I want you to actually look around wherever you are right now.
The phone that's the last thing you touch at night and the first thing you grab in the morning, whose idea was that? You put it there. You made scrolling the easiest thing in the room. Of course you scroll. It's right there. The snacks you swear you'll stop eating, they're in the house. You walk past them 9 times a day. You're not gonna out-willpower something you see 9 times a day. Nobody can. The stuff you want to do more of, is any of it easy to get to? Or is it buried, far away, a hassle? Because if the good thing takes effort and the bad thing takes 0, I already know how that ends. So do you. You've been blaming yourself for choices your environment basically made for you. Stop fighting the environment with willpower. Change the environment instead. It's so much easier, and it works even on the days you've got nothing left.
Here's your assignment this week, and it's a real simple physical one.
I like these because you can't overthink them. Change one thing about your space, just one. Move the phone charger across the room. Take the junk food out of the house, or at least off the counter into a cabinet you never open. Put the thing you want to do more of right where you'll trip over it. The book on the pillow, the guitar out of the case, the shoes by the door. One change. Make the good thing easier or the bad thing harder. That's it. Because willpower is you fighting your environment all day long and losing slow. A good environment is your environment fighting for you while you barely lift a finger. Marcus didn't beat the cookies, he just stopped inviting them into the house. Chapter 9. I'm not disciplined. About a year in, somebody at Marcus's work notices.
Guy named Tony sees Marcus eating his prepped lunch, knows he hits the gym, sees he's dropped some weight, seems to have his stuff together. And one day Tony goes, "Man, I wish I had your discipline. You're so disciplined, I could never." And Marcus laughs. And he says something that stops Tony cold. He goes, "I'm not disciplined. I'm honestly one of the least disciplined people I know. I just set things up so I don't have to be." Tony doesn't get it, thinks Marcus is being modest, but Marcus means it, every word. Because here's what Tony can't see. Tony sees the results and assumes there's some engine of iron willpower underneath, grinding away, Marcus gritting his teeth through every hard choice all day long. There isn't. The clothes are laid out the night before, so the morning's automatic.
The lunch is prepped on Sunday, so the workday needs no decision. The junk's not in the house, so there's nothing to resist. The gym's on the way home, not out of the way, so skipping it is actually more of a hassle than going. Marcus isn't fighting hard battles all day and winning. He set his life up so there's barely any battles left to fight. And this is the biggest lie we tell ourselves about the people who've got it together. We think they're gritting their teeth. We think they're full of willpower, waking up every day and out-toughing their weakness with sheer force. And so we look at ourselves, tired, caving, struggling, and we go, I just don't have what they have. I'm not built like that.
But they're not out toughing anything. Most of them aren't tougher than you at all. They just stopped relying on toughness. They quietly rearranged their life so the right thing happens on rails, and the willpower they save gets spent on the one or two things that actually need it. Discipline that you feel, the gritting, the grinding, the white knuckle, that kind burns out. It always burns out. You can only white knuckle for so long before life gets hard and your grip gives. The discipline that lasts, you don't even feel it. It's just how things are set up. It's automatic, it's boring, and boring is exactly why it survives. Real discipline isn't loud. It's not the guy screaming in the mirror, hyping himself up. It's the quiet stuff nobody sees. The clothes laid out, the alarm across the room, the groceries bought on Sunday, the never miss twice. None of it looks impressive. All of it works. Let me turn this to you, because I think you've been carrying a heavy, wrong idea. You've been thinking discipline is a feeling you have to summon, that you gotta psych yourself up, get tough, find that fire, and then power through on grit. And when you can't summon it, when you're just tired and flat and human, you decide you're not a disciplined person and you quit. But you were never supposed to summon anything. You don't need to become a tougher person. That's such a relief when it lands, honestly. You just need to become a better architect, someone who builds their days so the tired, normal, unmotivated version of you, the one that actually shows up most mornings, does the right thing without a fight. You're not lazy, you've just been trying to power a whole life on a feeling and blaming yourself when the feeling runs dry. Build the rails instead. Let the rails carry you on the days you've got nothing. Here's your assignment this week. Find one thing in your life that currently takes willpower, one recurring fight, one place you have to force yourself over and over, and ask a different question. Not how do I get tougher about this, but how do I set this up so it needs no toughness at all? Maybe that's prepping it ahead. Maybe it's removing the temptation. Maybe it's making the good thing dead simple and the bad thing a pain. You already know the moves now. You've got a whole toolbox from these last few chapters. Pick one fight and design it away. Because the goal was never to become someone who fights harder. It's to become someone who set the fight up to be easy and barely has to fight at all. Chapter 10. The Day It All Felt Pointless. There's a night about 14 months in where Marcus sits on the edge of his bed and thinks, what's even the point? He's been doing everything right, showing up, not missing twice, eating decent. And that day he stepped on the scale and it barely moved. Weeks of work and the numbers basically the same. Meanwhile, he opens his phone and some guy his age is on a boat somewhere, ripped, rich, quit my 9 to 5 in 6 months, here's how. And Marcus just deflates. Right there on the edge of the bed. I'm killing myself over here and nothing's happening. This guy did it in 6 months. What's wrong with me? You know that feeling. I know you do. That specific gut punch of doing the work and not seeing the payoff, while everybody online seems to be sprinting past you. Here's what Marcus didn't understand yet, sitting there on that bed, and it's the thing that would have saved him that whole rough night. Progress isn't a straight line, and most of it happens where you can't see it. When you're building something real, your body, your money, your skills, your whole self, it doesn't go up in a nice smooth diagonal like the graphs you imagine. It goes flat, 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 and then it jumps. Flat for weeks, then a jump. Flat again, then another jump.
And that flat part? That's not nothing happening. That's everything happening, underground, where you can't watch it. The scale's not moving, but your body's changing how it works. The savings account looks tiny, but the habit's setting like concrete. Nothing on the surface, everything underneath. Most people quit on the flat part. That's the whole tragedy, honestly. They do 3 weeks of great work, hit the flat stretch where nothing shows, decide it's not working, and walk away. 1 week, 1 day, sometimes 1 hour before the jump. They dug and quit right before they'd have hit water, and they never know how close they were. That's the part that gets me. They never find out.
And that guy on the boat? Real talk. You're seeing his jump. You're not seeing his flat years. Nobody posts the flat years. Nobody films the 200 boring days where nothing happened and they wanted to quit. They post the boat. They post day 1 and the after photo, and they quietly delete everything in between. You're comparing your flat part to their highlight reel. Of course you feel behind. You're watching a movie that skipped the boring middle, the exact part you're living in right now. Let me turn this to you, because I think this is where you've quit before. Not at the start, in the flat part. You started strong, you did the work, and then came the stretch where the effort was going in, but nothing was coming out. No results yet, no applause, no visible change, and your brain screamed, "This is pointless, you're wasting your time," and you stopped. And you thought that meant you failed. You didn't fail, you quit in the tunnel. You quit in the dark part right before the light. It happens to almost everybody. It's the most human thing there is. So here's what I need you to hold on to. When it feels pointless, that's not the sign to stop. That's the sign you're in the flat part. That's the sign it's working, underground, where you can't see. The pointless feeling is a stage, not a verdict. The people who make it aren't the ones who never feel that. They feel it too, on the edge of their bed, same as Marcus, same as you. They just keep showing up through the flat part, boring and unglamorous, until the jump comes. And the jump always comes for the ones who don't quit. Always. Here's your assignment this week. When you hit a moment this week where it feels pointless, and you might, I don't want you to make a decision in that moment. That's the rule. Never quit on a flat day. Never decide your whole path is broken on the day the scale didn't move, or the check was small, or nobody noticed. Just show up one more time. Do the small version, sleep on it. Because decisions made on the edge of the bed at your lowest are almost always wrong. Show up tomorrow and decide anything big on a good day, never a bad one. Marcus stayed on the edge of that bed for a while that night. Then he laid out his clothes for the morning anyway, and 3 weeks later the jump came. The scale broke loose. His clothes fit different. It all moved at once, like it had been waiting. It had been. It was always gonna. He just had to still be there when it did. Chapter 11. Putting the phone down. Here's a small thing Marcus does now that made a huge difference. He noticed that almost every time he felt like garbage about his life, behind, not enough, like a loser, he could trace it back to the same thing. He'd just been on his phone, scrolling. 20 minutes of watching other people's highlight reels, and he'd surface feeling like his own life was falling apart. Not because anything in his actual life changed. He put the phone down, and his real life was exactly the same as before he picked it up. Same job, same bank account, same body, same house. The only thing that changed was how he felt about it.
and the phone changed that in 20 minutes flat. So he started paying attention, and he realized the feed wasn't neutral. It wasn't just harmless entertainment. It was quietly poisoning how he saw his own life, a little bit every day. Here's the thing about comparison, and I want to be real careful and honest here because this one runs deep. You are wired to compare yourself to the people around you. That's ancient. In a small village, comparing yourself to 20 neighbors kept you sharp, kept you contributing, kept you in the tribe. It made sense. 20 people you actually knew. But your phone doesn't show you 20 neighbors. It shows you the most successful, best-looking, richest, luckiest, most filtered 1,000 people on the entire planet, on their best day, in their best moment, with the bad parts cut out. And it does it all day long, every time you're bored, every time you're on the toilet, every time you can't sleep at 2 a.m. Your ancient brain thinks all those people are your village. It thinks everybody is winning that hard, and you're the only one falling behind. And it makes you feel like you're losing a race that isn't even real. You're not losing. There's no race. There's just an app designed to keep you scrolling by keeping you a little bit unhappy with your own life. Because a happy, content person puts the phone down, and they don't make money when you put the phone down. Marcus figured that out, and it made him angry at first, and then it set him free. Because once you see it, once you really see that the comparison is rigged, that you're stacking your behind the scenes against everybody's highlight reel, you can start to let it go. Not all at once, but you can start. He didn't quit his phone. He's not a monk. He just got honest about what it was doing to him. And he started noticing, okay, I feel bad right now. Was I just scrolling? Yeah, okay. That's not real. That's the feed talking, not my actual life. Let me turn this to you, because you're probably holding the exact device right now. How many times have you been having a totally fine day, content even, and then you opened an app, and 10 minutes later you felt like your whole life was behind schedule? Someone bought a house, someone got engaged, someone's traveling, someone's thriving, and suddenly your fine day feels like failure. Nothing happened. Your life didn't change. You just took a hit of everybody's best moment all at once, and it made your normal, real, okay life feel like it wasn't enough. That feeling of being behind that keeps you up at night, a lot of it isn't real. A lot of it was manufactured, 20 minutes at a time, by a screen. You're not actually behind. You just got convinced you were, by a machine that profits from you feeling that way. Your real life, the one you're living when the phone's down, is probably a lot more okay than the feed lets you believe. Here's your assignment this week, and it's gentle. I'm not going to tell you to delete everything. That's not real. You won't do it, and you don't need to. Just this. One time this week, when you notice you feel bad about your life, stop and ask, was I just on my phone? That's it. Just connect the two. Catch it in the act, the same way you caught the voice back in chapter 2. Because once you see that scrolling is what's making you feel behind, you take a little of its power away, and a little, done a few times, adds up to a lot. Marcus still scrolls sometimes. He just doesn't believe it anymore, and his real life, the one off the screen, got a whole lot quieter and better once he stopped measuring it against a highlight reel. Chapter 12. Keeping your word to you. Marcus told me something once that stuck with me. He said, you know what actually changed me? It wasn't the workouts, it wasn't the weight. It was that I started keeping my word to myself. and I hadn't done that in years. Think about that for a second. For years, Marcus had been making promises to himself and breaking every one. I'll start Monday. Broke it. This is the year. Broke it. Tomorrow's different. Broke it. Over and over, every promise to himself, broken. And you don't think that does anything. But it does. It does something quiet and terrible. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you learn a little bit more not to trust yourself. You wouldn't stay friends with somebody who told you, "I'll be there 50 times," and never showed up once. You'd stop believing a word they said. You'd stop counting on them. You'd write them off.
Well, you've been that person. To yourself. For years, maybe. Telling yourself you'll do things and then not doing them. And some part of you deep down stopped believing you. Stopped trusting you. That's why starting feels so hard now, because underneath it all, you don't actually believe you'll follow through. Why would you? Look at the track record. That's the real damage. It's not the missed workouts. It's what the missed workouts taught you about yourself. That you're someone who doesn't come through. That your own word means nothing. And here's the beautiful part, the part Marcus found. You can rebuild that trust. The exact same way you build it with any person. Small promise kept. Small promise kept. Small promise kept. Over and over until you believe yourself again. This is why the 2-minute thing matters so much more than it looks. It was never really about 2 minutes of exercise. It's that you told yourself you'd do something and then you did it. You kept your word. Small, tiny, almost nothing, but you kept it. And your brain filed that away. We said we'd do it, and we did. And the next day you keep it again. And slowly, quietly, you start to become someone you can count on. That's worth more than any six-pack. That's the thing that bleeds into everything else. Because once you trust yourself in one area, you start bringing that trust everywhere. If I said I'd do this, and I did, maybe I can trust myself with that other thing too. This is why you never want to set a goal you're gonna break. Every broken promise is a withdrawal from an account that's already low, and every kept one is a deposit. So you keep them small enough to keep, on purpose. You'd rather promise to do 1 push-up and do it than promise 100 and do 0. The 1 push-up builds trust. The 0 burns it down. Little and kept beats big and broken, every single time. Let me turn this to you. I want you to think about your own track record with yourself. Not to beat yourself up, we're past that here. Just to be honest. How many times have you told yourself you'd do something and then didn't? And do you see how, after enough of those, you'd stop believing yourself? You'd stop even trying, because some part of you already knows how it ends. That's not because you're weak. It's because you've got a trust problem with yourself, built up over years of broken little promises. And trust problems get fixed 1 kept promise at a time. There's no shortcut, but there's a clear path. Here's your assignment this week. Make yourself 1 promise so small it's almost impossible to break. 1. And then keep it every day this week. Drink 1 glass of water when you wake up. Make your bed. 2 push-ups. 1 page. Doesn't matter what. It matters that it's small enough that you will keep it, even on your worst day. And when you keep it, notice it. Actually notice. Say to yourself, I said I'd do that, and I did. That's a deposit. That's you, slowly, learning to trust you again. Because the most important relationship you've got isn't with anybody out there.
It's with the person who hears you make every promise and knows whether you keep them. Chapter 13. Becoming someone else without noticing. There's a moment, maybe 18 months in, where Marcus is standing in the kitchen and his son asks him a question. The kid goes, "Dad, how come you always go to the gym even when you don't want to?"
And Marcus opens his mouth to answer and stops, because he realizes he doesn't have to think about it anymore. He doesn't decide to go to the gym, he just goes, like brushing his teeth, like it's just a thing he is now, not a thing he does. And it hits him right there in the kitchen. When did that happen? There was no big day, no finish line, no moment where trumpets played and he officially became a disciplined person. It just happened, quietly, underneath him, one boring repetition at a time, until one day his kid asked, and he realized he'd become somebody different without ever noticing the switch. Here's the thing about real change that nobody tells you, and I wish they would. It's invisible while it's happening.
You want it to feel like a montage. You want the dramatic before and after, the day everything clicks, the moment you can point to and say, "That's when I changed." But that's not how it works. Real change is so slow and so gradual that you can't feel it day to day. Each rep feels like nothing. Each day feels the same as the last. And then you look up 18 months later and you're a completely different person, and you can't even find the seam where it happened. Every action you take is a vote for who you're becoming. That's the truest thing I know about all this. You're not just doing a workout, you're casting a vote for, "I'm someone who works out." You're not just reading a page, you're voting for, "I'm a reader." You're not just keeping one small promise, you're voting for, "I'm someone who keeps promises." And no single vote decides the election, but they pile up. And slowly the person with the most votes wins, and that person becomes who you are.
And it works the other way too, real talk. Every time you skip, every time you cave, every time you break the small promise, that's a vote too, a vote for the old you. That's why the flat days matter so much, why never miss twice matters. You're not just missing a workout, you're casting a vote for the person who doesn't follow through. The votes always count, both directions. But here's the hope in it. You don't need to win every vote. Marcus didn't. He missed plenty. You just need to win most of them, most of the time, and let the count slowly tip. You're allowed a bad day. The election's long. One vote doesn't sink you. Let me turn this to you because I think you've been waiting for the wrong thing. You've been waiting to feel different. Waiting for the day you wake up and feel like a disciplined person, a confident person, a person who has it together, and then you'll act like it. But it's backwards, same as everything else we've talked about. You don't feel your way into being someone new. You act your way there, one small vote at a time, and the feeling shows up so late you barely notice it arrive. You're not going to feel yourself changing. That's the part I really need you to hear tonight. You're going to do small, boring things that feel like they're doing nothing, day after day, and it's going to feel pointless. Remember the flat part. And then one day, months from now, something small is going to happen. Your kid'll ask you a question. You'll catch your reflection. Somebody'll say, "You seem different." And you'll realize you already became the person you were trying to become, quietly, while you weren't watching. The person you want to be is built in the boring middle, out of votes so small you don't even feel yourself casting them. Here's your assignment this week.
Before you do your small thing this week, the 2-minute habit, the kept promise, whatever you've picked, I want you to say one sentence to yourself first. This is a vote for who I'm becoming. That's it. Just name it. Connect the tiny, boring action to the person on the other end of it. Because when you can see the vote inside the action, the boring stuff stops feeling pointless. You're not doing a chore, you're building a person. That changes everything about how it feels. Marcus never felt himself become someone new. He just kept voting. And one day, in the kitchen, his son introduced him to the guy he'd already become. Chapter 14, The Parking Lot, One More Time. I want to take you back to that parking lot.
The Planet Fitness, the one where we started, where Marcus sat in his car for 11 minutes with his hands at 10 and 2, negotiating with himself, and then backed out and hit the drive-through instead. Let me show you that same parking lot now, almost 2 years later. Marcus pulls in after a long shift, tired, flat. Doesn't feel like it because remember, he still doesn't feel like it. That never changed. That was never gonna change. But he doesn't sit there. He doesn't negotiate. There's no 11 minutes. He just parks, grabs the bag that's already packed because he packed it last night, and walks through the door. 20 feet, the same 20 feet that used to feel like 20 miles. He doesn't even think about it anymore. And I need you to understand what actually happened here, because it's the whole point of everything we've talked about. Marcus didn't become a superhero. He didn't find some deep well of motivation. He's not tougher than you. He's not built different. 2 years ago, he was the guy who couldn't make it through the door. Same guy, same battery, same tired. The only thing that changed is he stopped trying to win with feelings. He stopped waiting to feel ready, stopped waiting for the wave, stopped relying on willpower at 9:40 at night, stopped believing the voice. And instead, he built a life, small, boring, quiet, where the right thing was just easier than the wrong thing, where the tired, normal, unmotivated version of him did the right thing on rails, without a fight. That's it. That's the whole secret. There was never anything more to it. Now let me talk to you, just you, the way we started. You're lying there. It's late. Maybe it's 2 a.m. and you can't sleep, and you feel behind everyone in your feed. Same as when we started this whole thing, a bunch of chapters ago. And I know what that voice is telling you right now. It's telling you this was nice, but you're different. That it worked for Marcus, but your situation's harder, your problems are bigger, your life's more of a mess. That you'll start tomorrow, that you'll start Monday. That's the liar. You know it now. You've seen its face. Don't you believe it? Because here's what's true. You don't need more motivation. You've had plenty of motivation. You've been motivated 100 times, and it faded 100 times. And that's not your fault. That's just what motivation does. It fades. It was always gonna fade. You don't need to feel ready. You're never gonna feel ready. Nobody does. Marcus didn't. He walked through that door not feeling ready for 2 straight years. You don't need to be tougher. You just need to be a little smarter about how you set up your days. Lay the clothes out the night before. Shrink it down to 2 minutes. Never miss twice. Change one thing in your space. Keep one small promise. Cast one small vote. Show up on the flat days, especially the flat days. None of it is big. None of it looks impressive. That's exactly why it works. That's exactly why it lasts, when the fire and grit stuff always burned out on you before. You've been trying to change your life with your feelings, and your feelings let you down over and over.
and you thought that meant you were the failure. You were never the failure. You were just using the wrong tool. So here's the last thing I want to leave you with tonight, your final assignment, and it's the smallest one of all.
Pick one thing, just one, the smallest possible version of one thing you want to build, and do it tomorrow, not Monday, not next month, tomorrow, no matter how you feel when you wake up, especially if you don't feel like it, because you won't feel like it. Do it tired, do it flat, do it while the voice is telling you to wait. Do it anyway. That's the first vote. That's you walking through the door. Somewhere out there, Marcus is walking through his door tonight, tired, not feeling it, doing it anyway, same as he'll do tomorrow and the day after that. He's not special, he's not stronger than you. He's just a regular tired guy who stopped waiting to feel like it and built a life that carried him on the days he had nothing left. You can be that guy, not someday, not when you feel ready. Tomorrow. 20 feet. One door. Now go get some sleep. You've got a vote to cast in the morning. Closing. The alarm. Remember where we started? You set the alarm for 5 a.m. You meant it, and when it went off, your hand shot out in the dark and killed it before your eyes even opened. And you rolled back over into that warm spot and told yourself 5 more minutes. I want to leave you with a different morning. It's tomorrow, the alarm goes off, and your hand still wants to shoot out and kill it. That part doesn't magically disappear, I won't lie to you. The wanting to quit is still gonna be there. It'll probably always be there. But this time, there's clothes on the couch. Right where you left them last night, when you were a little stronger, deciding for the tired person you'd be in the morning. And you don't have to feel like it. That's the whole thing you learned. You just have to put on the clothes that are right there. So you do. That's it. That's the entire revolution. It's not dramatic. Nobody's watching. No trumpets. Just a tired person putting on clothes they laid out the night before, casting one small vote, keeping one small promise, refusing to miss twice. That's how every single life that ever changed. Not in one big heroic moment, in 1,000 small boring ones that nobody clapped for. Look, I'll be honest with you, the way I've tried to be this whole time, your life probably isn't going to transform tomorrow. The scale won't move, the account won't fill, the feed will still be there trying to make you feel behind. That's the flat part, and you're going to live in the flat part for a while. Everybody does. But underneath, where you can't see, something starts. The first vote gets cast. The first deposit gets made into an account that's been empty a long time. The first small promise gets kept, and some quiet part of you that stopped trusting you starts, just barely, to believe again. And you keep going, tired, flat, not feeling it, doing it anyway. And one day, months from now, on some ordinary afternoon you can't predict, you're going to look up, and you're not going to be able to find the seam where it happened, but you'll be different. Someone will say it, or you'll catch it in the mirror, or your own kid will ask you a question in the kitchen, and you'll realize you already became the person you were lying awake at 2 a.m. wishing you could be. You're that person right now, tonight. You just haven't cast the votes yet. The people winning out there, the ones on the vote, the ones in your feed, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, they're not stronger than you. Most of them aren't tougher, aren't smarter, weren't handed some gift you missed. They just stopped waiting to feel ready. They stopped believing the voice. And they built a quiet, boring life that carried them on the days they had nothing. You can build that too, starting with one door.
20 feet away. So here's the last thing, and then I'll let you sleep. Before you close your eyes tonight, get up, just for a second. Lay one thing out: the clothes, the shoes, the book, the glass by the sink. Set one small trap for the tired person you'll be in the morning. Decide right now, while you're a little bit stronger, that tomorrow you doesn't get a vote on whether to start. Because motivation was never coming to save you. It was never that kind of story.
You save you. One laid out shirt, one kept promise, one door 20 feet away, walked through tired. Set your alarm, and this time leave the clothes on the couch. Good night. I'll see you at the door.